Something interesting is happening in the automotive world, and it doesn't involve the brand you might expect. Audi, or rather AUDI, written in all capitals and without those famous four interlocking rings, is quietly building something entirely separate in China. And with the official release of the Audi E7X electric SUV on SAIC Audi's digital platforms, that something is starting to look very serious indeed. To understand what makes this unusual, you have to go back a bit. In November 2024, Audi and its longtime Chinese partner SAIC Motor launched a sub-brand specifically designed for the Chinese market. No four rings, no traditional Audi branding, just AUDI, bold and capitalized, as if announcing itself as something new entirely, because in many ways, it is. The first car out of the gate was the Audi E5 Sportback, a sleek wagon-style EV built around Chinese technology and Chinese consumer expectations. The E7X is the follow-up, and it goes bigger in every sense of the word. Before it became an official release, the E7X showed up as a concept called the AUDI E-SUV. From there, it moved quickly. Regulatory filings, cold weather testing in China, and now an official debut. That kind of pace isn't accidental. It reflects exactly what this joint venture was designed to do. Cut through the usual development timelines by working locally, making decisions locally, and building for a market that moves faster than almost anywhere else on Earth. Size-wise, the E7X is a proper large SUV. At just over 5 meters long, nearly 2 meters wide, and sitting on a wheelbase of just over 3 meters, it's a substantial machine. Optional 21 or 22-inch wheels give it a look that matches those numbers. This isn't a compact crossover dressed up to seem bigger than it is. It genuinely occupies the upper tier of the segment. The front end is where things get genuinely interesting from a design standpoint. Instead of a conventional grille, the E7X features what the brand calls a ring light surface, essentially a futuristic lighting element that takes the place of a traditional grille opening. Paired with that are million-pixel DLP digital projection headlights, the kind of technology that doesn't just illuminate the road, but enables dynamic lighting patterns and visual effects. The front badge lights up, and even the wheel hubs have been engineered with a counterweight system, so the AUDI lettering stays upright as the wheels spin. It's a small detail, but it says a lot about the level of obsession that's gone into the aesthetics. Inside, the cabin is laid out for 5 people, and while the full specification sheet hasn't been released in exhaustive detail, the general direction is clearly toward a highly connected, software-forward environment. That fits with what the broader Chinese EV market demands. Buyers there expect their cars to function more like smartphones on wheels than traditional vehicles, and the AUDI sub-brand appears to understand that implicitly. Under all of that sits an all-aluminum chassis, which does 2 things well. It keeps weight down, and it provides a rigid base for everything built on top of it. The Quattro all-wheel drive system, long a signature of Audi's performance identity, makes an appearance here too, though re-engineered for an electric drivetrain. It's one of the clearer threads connecting this new sub-brand to its parent, even if the badge and the branding suggest otherwise. The performance numbers are hard to argue with. The base rear-wheel drive version runs a single electric motor producing 300 kilowatts, which works out to around 402 horsepower. If that's not enough, the all-wheel drive variant combines 2 motors for a total of 500 kilowatts, 670 horsepower, and gets from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 4 seconds. The top speed sits at 230 kilometers per hour. These aren't conservative, efficiency-focused numbers. This is a vehicle that genuinely wants to be fast. Battery capacity comes in at 109 kilowatt-hours, with cells supplied by CATL, which has become something of a default choice for premium EVs in China given its dominance and reputation in the battery industry. The range figure is 751 kilometers under Chinese testing standards, which is significant. Range anxiety has historically been one of the main objections from EV skeptics, and a number like that makes the conversation considerably easier. Whether real-world figures in varied conditions match that exactly is a separate question, but the headline number is competitive by any measure. Perhaps the most technically forward aspect of the E7X is its electrical architecture. The vehicle operates on a 900-volt system, placing it in the same league as some of the most advanced EVs currently on the market. A higher voltage platform means charging can happen faster, thermal management becomes more efficient, and the overall electrical system can move energy around more effectively. It's the kind of foundational technology that tends to matter a great deal over time, even if it doesn't make for the most dramatic marketing copy. On the intelligent driving side, the E7X comes equipped with a roof-mounted LiDAR unit, the spinning or solid-state sensor that gives a vehicle a three-dimensional picture of its surroundings in real time. That hardware is paired with software from Momenta, a Chinese autonomous driving company, specifically its latest Flywheel large model. Together, they enabled what's called Navigation on Autopilot, or NOA, which can handle both highway driving and urban environments with a degree of automation that goes noticeably beyond standard cruise control or lane-keeping functions. The combination of good hardware and genuinely capable software is something that Chinese EV industry has gotten increasingly good at, and the E7X benefits from that momentum. Stepping back from the specifications for a moment, there's a broader story here worth paying attention to. The decision by Audi and SAIC to create a completely separate brand, not a subline, not a trim level, but an entirely distinct identity with its own name and visual language, represents a calculated acknowledgement that winning in China requires more than shipping a global product into a local market. Chinese consumers, particularly in the EV space, have options. Domestic brands like BYD, NIO, Li Auto, and Huawei-backed ventures have raised the bar substantially, and international brands have had to reckon with the fact that their heritage and prestige count for less than they once did. By dropping the four rings and creating something new, Audi and SAIC are essentially saying, "We understand you, and we're building specifically for you." Whether that message lands depends on how the product performs in the market, but the intent is clear. It's a more honest approach than trying to adapt a globally developed product at the margins and hoping it connects. There's also something worth noting about the pace and confidence of this rollout. The E5 Sportback launched the sub-brand. The E7X expands it into the lucrative and fiercely contested large SUV segment. More models are presumably in development. This isn't a cautious toe dip into electrification. It reads more like a committed strategic push, one that assumes China's EV market will continue to grow and that being well-positioned now matters enormously for what comes later. Whether the Audi E7X becomes a genuine success story or a cautionary tale about the complexity of building for a new market under a new identity remains to be seen. The ingredients are compelling: strong performance figures, a competitive range, advanced technology in both charging architecture and autonomous driving software, and a design approach that doesn't simply borrow from the existing Audi playbook. The execution and ultimately the reception from buyers will tell the rest of the story. For now, it stands as one of the more genuinely interesting product launches in the global electric vehicle space, and a window into how legacy automakers are trying to stay relevant in a world that's changing faster than most of them anticipated.